they'll be 2-3 times more important. And I think the weights go up to, is it 30?
16.
16? Okay. So, yeah, there's a lot of room for playing around there. Also, at the same time, you can take his voting power away. If you put him at 0, basically, he will not have any influence on the system at all. He'll still be controlling his own peripherals. He'll still be doing his own thing, just that he won't be influencing the whole system. A good example of this is us back home. We have like a big warehouse, you know, with like a gas-powered unit heater, and we also have offices as well. Well, we don't want the warehouse temperature influencing our entire system, because it's just, you know, a warehouse which is already being controlled with that temperature. So we put his global weight at 0. So we still see him on the system. He's still there. You can still play around with him. Just he's not influencing whether the machine heats or cools. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect onto our system at home. I don't know how many hundreds of miles, thousands. And I'm going to build my system from scratch once again. Just go on new, no, save IP connection. Okay, nothing happened, that's fine. But on the bottom it says connected to server. So that means I'm actually connected onto my network controller right now. We're actually communicating. So, what do I do? Drag and drop. Address 20. Asking for a password. We have passwords as well. So, if the person doesn't know the password, they cannot access it. Go. Turns up. Oh, correct. Fahrenheit. Once again, I'm going to get all my zones, right? Get list. All right. So once again here I have all these VC1000s. Who are these people? Just go get my names.
Can you make it a default? Or it automatically brings it in?
Brian? we could add it, yeah.
I'll just do it.
Yeah. We like these small suggestions because it gives us an idea of what people want.
Sure.
And we base most of our development on what contractors want and need, not what end users, or not on what we want it to do, because that's what we think it should be like. So
I think if you go to that get list, if it came up with the actual device name and then in parentheses the product code, you know, whatever the model number is, that way they know exactly what they're looking at. Because if you come in with just the name here, you still have to go into all the configurations to figure out what type of device is actually on the system, correct?
Well, if you look around here, you can see, you know, it'll say humidifier.
Right.
If it's a thermostat, it's going to say thermostat. If it's a VC1000, which is our zone control,
right,
it's going to say VC1000, so you know it's a zone control.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if in this mode where you get the list and it just gives you the custom name that the customers defined it as.
Okay. Well, we'll take note of that.
Throwing it out there.
It's fine. So, all right. So here's my office. Here's Brian's. Some names may look funny.
Lingerie.
All right.
It's not what it is.
All right. So here I've got one rooftop with about 6 zones, a humidifier, and a thermostat. But we actually have 3 rooftops, each with its own zoning. So I'm going to create the other 2 systems. Remember I was talking about those hierarchies? You got the top level hierarchy of all your masters in one daisy chain, and then each master has its own zones. So I'm just gonna, here I'm jumping up basically, systems and network. So I'll just bring in a new system. I'll call it AC2, let's say. Okay, now this is just an empty shell. If I double click on it, I'm into the system, but there's nothing there, so you just kind of have to build it again. I know it's address 40. Right click, get my list. And remember, we are live right now. This is all real time. Go. Get my names.
Get names point that you made is a good point. But also don't forget, usually once you build your system the first time, you'll just save it and you won't have to do all the steps that Dan is doing right now, like adding the controllers.
Sure.
They'll just be already there with the names already loaded.
And I'll just bring my third system in. We're going to use address 60. And we will go get this list. Right, like Brian was saying, if we go into the file here, there's a save. So you can save this session, this project, this session, as a file. So which you can access whether you're connected onto it, or you can even access it offline. So even if there's a problem going on, and you're at home or you're at the office, but you can't connect directly, well, you can open up your offline session and you can go see how it was configured and see, okay, maybe I could change this, maybe I could change that. There we go. Because as you can see, I'm building the system, but this would save you the trouble from having to build, drag and drop, get list, it's just kind of time saving.
That remote connection you're coming into, does the network controller, are you allowed to custom configure like the IP port it's on? If you're sharing, or does it need its own static IP?
You can put DHCP
Okay.
or static IP, but the port is always port 502. It's the Modbus port, so
Gotcha.
even if we wanted to,
Okay.
we could
Okay. Perfect.
I'll just bring my network scheduler, address 99. All right, there we go. So see, as I can see, it's actually a different time from what I have. So there we go. So here I have my 3 units. If I right click, I can view it or configure it. Suppose I view. You can also cycle through them here. So as you can see, it's we've got the different colors. If we go on to the network scheduler, double click. Okay.
So what you've got there, you basically got 4 different networks. You got your master network, and then you've got a network for each controller.
Well, when we're looking at like that hierarchy of
your
daisy chains, so we've got 3 rooftops with its own zones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I guess
each zone is its own network, and then you got your master network. Is your 127 device count all encompassing, or is it each?
It's everything.
So all encompassing, everything all together can't go above 120. Okay.
Basically, with the dip switches, okay, you can only have up to 127 because there are 7 dip switches for the addressing.
Actual nodes.
Exactly. So as soon as there's 2 controllers with the same address, you're going to have some problems.
Okay.
Or like maybe one will come on, and then the other guy's going to come on.
So it's not doing a subnet. So it's not breaking them into subnets. It's just boom, one.
Exactly.
One. It's basically one network. You're just hierarchy in it.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Cool.
Okay. So now I'm in my network scheduler. Weekly routine. Here's the same schedule that we were talking about. Here's the calendar which we're looking at. Refresh.